Today, I want to teach you how to move forward when you feel afraid. Because fear isn't the problem, it's letting it lead the way that is the biggest problem. Fear shows up in all of our lives. Sometimes it's serious, and sometimes it even ends up being a little ridiculous. Let me share a story with you. So my whole entire life, I have been very afraid of blood work and needles and doctors. Oh my. And so when I found out that I was pregnant, I had never had blood work before. And I was so afraid to the point where I would be up all night, just panicked about this. And I didn't know how to just relax, like so irrational that when I would share it with people, they would kind of just laugh it off and didn't realize how incredibly terrified I was. So I researched everything I could do to prepare for my blood work day. In fact, I even found there's a blood mobile that will come to your house. So you better believe it. I didn't even go into an office because the idea made me like tremble. Literally, I had to have somebody come to the house and I had like a waterfall on the TV. I know. Like I said, I told you it was going to be ridiculous, but it doesn't even stop there. I researched numbing creams and I literally bought the highest grade numbing cream to put all lathered all over my arms because I didn't know what vein they were going to use. And she shows up, this lovely lady, and my arms are covered in numbing cream and I'm freaking out. And I was like, just tell me when it's over. And she's like, Daira, I'm already done. I literally felt nothing. But the fear, I can't even put into words the fear I had. And here's what, I've learned about that is you can have all the knowledge in the world and you can still lack so much peace when you let fear control you. You can know all the facts. You can understand the whole situation. You can prepare yourself. You can say, I'm going to be fine. You can put on numbing cream, but you can still feel so anxious inside because information alone will not ever bring you the peace that you need. Peace comes from trusting the one who sees the full picture. Fear is often just a signal. It's showing you you're stepping into something unknown, something new, something that actually matters. The problem isn't that fear is there, it's that fear becomes your leader. Let me show you what I mean. So imagine someone is zoomed all the way into a photo and all they see is a fire. And immediately they panic because they've been conditioned to know and learn that a fire can be dangerous. So they want to stop, drop, and roll, right? Their response makes sense based on what they can see. But then they zoom out a little and they realize that it's actually a fireplace. And so no need to panic. The fire is contained. They zoom out even more and then they see a family is sitting around drinking hot cocoa. They zoom out even more and there's a Christmas tree and it's snowing and there's warmth and there's joy. And suddenly what once felt dangerous is actually beautiful. What once caused fear is now a moment that you wish you were a part of. Nothing changed about that fire. What changed was perspective. And a lot of our fears work the same exact way. We're so zoomed into one detail, one outcome, one unknown, and we're letting that define the whole entire story. But God sees the whole picture. And where we see danger, he sees purpose. Where we see uncertainty, he sees the outcome. That is why scripture says God has not given us a spirit of fear. And it's why so many times in scripture, when an angel shows up, the first words are, do not be afraid. Because what's coming next often isn't meant to shrink that person. It's meant to call them higher. Now, there's a fear that we have to have, though, the fear of the Lord. But that's not panic. That is not anxiety. That is reverence. That is awe. That is recognizing who God is and trusting him completely. And when that kind of fear is in the right place, then all the other fears start to lose their power. So the goal isn't actually to eliminate all fear. The goal is to stop letting fear lead you. Instead, trust God. Trust the one who knows everything about your life. Because fear will always tell you to stay where it is safe. But safe is often not where God is calling you to. Sometimes fear shows up right at the edge of something new, a new step, a new calling, a new level of trust. And if you let fear lead you, you will stay where you are, often stuck. But if you let God lead you, you will move forward. So here's the question. Where in your life are you zoomed in and you're letting fear tell you the whole story and control that narrative? And what would it look like if you zoomed out and you trusted the God who sees what you cannot? Because you may feel afraid, but that doesn't mean you're in the wrong place. It might just mean you're being invited into something bigger than you can currently see.